48 stalls that can accommodate 94 to 96 vendors, among a host of facilities. The inauguration of the new craft market is another landmark achievement for the Tourism Ministry. The new market is expected to not only provide the tourism area an attractive scenery, but also a conducive environment for both vendors and tourists alike.
Excellencies, the government of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya AJJ Jammeh, places a high premium on the development of tourism generally because of its importance to the national economy. Tourism is one of the drivers of the Gambia's GDP growth of 6% in 2010, and the Minister of Finance is here to agree with me on that. The development of the craft markets within the tourism development is therefore a cornerstone of my ministry's tourism policy. It is our firm conviction that developing the craft sector also contributes to our competitiveness as a destination.
The Secretary General of the United Nations World Tourism Organization identified and applauded the government of the Gambia for paying special attention to the tourism sector through an extensive effort to revitalize the industry.
I'm therefore pleased that the Gambia has taken these strides and put tourism high on its political agenda. The policies of the President, the policies and execution of the respectful ministers, and I particularly welcome the presence of the Minister of Finance here. You need to support tourism. You give tourism, tourism will give you back.
It was a joyous moment for the vendors, and they showed their delight at the new development with dancing. Built at a tune of $5.5 million, this craft market will not only serve as a source of income for the country, but also provide employment for the teeming mass of vendors. For Grts News, I am Fatou Jassi.
Celebrants marking NGO Week ended the program with a call for non-governmental organizations, the media, government and other stakeholders to close ranks. The call was made after deliberations on the significance of technology as a viable development tool. Louis Mendy has more on the declaration that was made at the end of the synergy.
The last day of the maiden edition of the NGO Week took a close look at the importance of technology as a development enabler and the need for solidarity among NGOs, the media, stakeholders, and the government. The collaboration as envisaged by the NGO representatives is crucial not only for the sustainable growth of its members, but for the sustainable development of the country. Describing technology as an essential tool for development, Sidi Omar Bensouda of Insist Global highlighted the need for the NGOs to be familiar with basic IT knowledge. He pointed out its importance in the elimination of errors and increased productivity.
So something else to also consider, which I hope people will take away from here, is that technology can also be a national export. That if we use donor funds right to invest in local ICT, you can then begin to export those technologies and build new industry that can benefit all and can be a way for Gambians to get out of poverty.
Other participants had their views pinned on the need for NGOs to collaborate, believing that it is the surest way to help them accomplish the purpose for which they are constituted.
Equally, between our NGO, the NGO community and government, these have to be partnership based on certain things, strategic partnership, not just on technological or information partnership. No, government has to see NGOs as partners, and whatever they are effecting that will affect NGOs, NGOs should be consulted.
NGOs, let us work together. Let us not see ourselves as people who are competing, but we are all working towards the same objective, towards the well-being of Gambians. And I'm appealing to all of you, let us share information. If you hear people are saying that, NGOs are just there to chop money, it's because what we are doing, we are not sharing it. We are doing a lot in the country and we are doing a lot for the people in the country. So let us try and showcase whatever we are doing, and we can only do that through sharing of information through Tango. And we also,
as the Tango policy dialogue among a host of other issues seeks to deal with quality service delivery, affordability, reliability, and accessibility to all Gambians, participants in the NGO Week used the forum to challenge GSM companies to revisit their network coverage policies by improving mobile communication services in the provinces to enable people make and receive calls with ease. The Londe session drew its curtain with the enactment of the NGO Week 2012 declaration, premised on the desire to respond to the challenges of NGOs and to strengthen the institution's efforts in contributing to the socio-economic and political development of the Gambia. Louis Mendy, GRTS.
The Gambia Lowland Development Project has started reclaiming more than 1,000 hectares of land lost to salinity. The new initiative that has the backing of the National Environment Agency is expected to improve productivity and increase food production in the West Coast region. Aji Amisisa has more in this report.
Saltwater intrusions, erosion, and other conditions have rendered a huge chunk of the country's land unproductive, hindering agricultural advancement as it degenerates soil quality. Since efforts to combat global warming and its adverse effects hinge on environmental maintenance, development processes should not go without checking their impacts on the environment.
We have to bear in mind that all these projects here sometimes do come up with environmental impacts. People are clearing anywhere where they can grab. So the reason why NE is coming is to make sure that the impact on the environment is very minimal and it's not going to affect the livelihoods of the people.
The Gambia Lowland Development Project is not the least ready to make the mistakes most institutions tend to be guilty of. Modern-day factories, which hardly operate without huge emissions of gases harmful to the environment and human health, are blamed for most nuclear accidents we see today, storage plants and other agricultural-related ones. GALDEP aims to enhance the production of rice and other cereals by bringing back to use land faced with hazardous environmental effects. By means of soil and water management and developing irrigation, an environment and social management plan is being validated to assess its environmental impacts.
Birkama, Raito, Kalaji. In most cases on your right, you will see sand deposits, sand deposition on some of these former productive fields. Now these fields are now being abandoned as a result of sand deposition. GALDEP is out to remove or to improve that or to reclaim such areas by desilting. On your left-hand side on the highway also, in most cases you see salt intrusion. Some of these fields are being abandoned or abandoned as a result of salt.
1,400 hectares of land is considerably a huge chunk of the Gambia's arable land to be left unproductive. Agriculture, with its multifaceted benefits to both the country's economy and the living standards of people, needs urgent attention to mitigate potential environmental drawbacks.
The Gambian economy is heavily dependent on the primary sector such as forestry, wildlife, livestock rearing, and crop farming. As this extraction makes a huge demand on it, moreover, the methods used quite often involve tools and implements that deeply score the soil and occult the fauna and flora to extract man's benefit, such as grains, timber, or fish. We are told over and over again that the basic rule of sustainable development is to widely use God's given resources so that something tangible is left to satisfy the needs of tomorrow's generation yet unborn.
As issues of the economy and the environment are things we share as a global village, it is no coincidence that a lot of focus is being placed on them in recent times owing to their ramifications on our livelihoods. For a project which is designed to advance both sectors, validating an environment and social management plan seems a worthy cause. For GRTS News, I am Aja Amisise.
Or you can also follow that